we meet at a moment of great uncertainty for America. The economy, I think everybody now knows, is facing its worst crisis since the Great Depression. And businesses, large and small, are finding it impossible to get loans, which means they can't buy new equipment or hire new workers or even make payroll in some cases for the workers that they have. And we've lost more than 750,000 jobs this year. We just learned that here in Florida, we lost nearly 11,000 jobs in September alone. Wages are lower than they've been in a decade, at a time when costs of health care and college have never been higher. Earlier this month, when the major financial institutions were on the verge of collapse and global markets were on the brink, we took the unprecedented action in Congress of passing a $700 billion financial rescue plan. I have no doubt that this was the right thing to do to address the immediate crisis and put our economy on a firmer footing. And we had some modestly positive news yesterday of the credit markets starting to loosen up again and people being willing to make loans. But that was just the beginning, not the end, of our work to rebuild our struggling economy. Some of the people on this stage know this better than just about anyone. They're on the front lines dealing with the fallout from 8 years of greed on Wall Street and irresponsibility in Washington. And when we spend $10 billion a month in Iraq, every month, that means less money to fix crumbling roads and bridges here at home. When our president passes tax breaks for multimillionaires, corporations that are shipping jobs overseas, that leaves our states with without the resources to provide health care and good schools and police and firefighters. Today, 21 states are facing budget shortfalls, including Florida. Governors across America are facing impossible choices, and I'm sure the governors will talk about this, cutting vital services or raising property taxes on families that are already struggling to stay afloat. Now, let's be clear, the financial crisis that states, businesses, and families are facing didn't just spring up full-blown overnight. It's been a long time coming. The warning signs have been very clear. But while President Bush and Senator McCain were ready to move heaven and earth to address the crisis on Wall Street, President Bush has failed so far to address the crisis on Main Street. And Senator McCain has failed to fully acknowledge it. Instead of common sense solutions, month after month, they've offered little more than willful ignorance, wishful thinking, outdated ideology. Now, 9 months ago, back in January, I called for a stimulus package to provide immediate relief for states, along with tax rebates to get money directly to the middle-class families and a foreclosure prevention fund to help them keep their homes. Yesterday, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, one of the successors of Paul Volcker, acknowledged we need a stimulus package. Senator McCain, on the other hand, at that time, back in January, insisted that the fundamentals of the economy were strong. We don't need that. We just need you to vote. Senator McCain's advisors mocked the stimulus plan before Congress. One referred to it as borrowing money from the Chinese and dropping it from helicopters. Another dismissed it as junk. Now, last August, I called for a jobs and growth fund to help states put people to work and rebuild and repair our roads and our bridges and our infrastructure. And I called for $25 billion to help state and local governments pay for services and avoid raising property taxes, because tax increases are the last thing that our families need in an economy like this. But President Bush and Senator McCain thought that a second stimulus package was unnecessary. Finally, after 9 straight months of job losses, in the worst market turmoil in generations, at a time when even the Bush White House has acknowledged the need for a second stimulus, Senator McCain put forth a plan, and it's fair to say it leaves a lot to be desired. It's a proposal that does nothing to create jobs. It's an emergency plan that does nothing to help families with emergencies of lost jobs or falling wages or mounting bills. It contains a housing proposal that offers a $300 billion bailout for Wall Street banks, buying homes at full cost so that the banks know that they would gain and taxpayers know that they would lose. It does very little to help middle-class families stay in their homes. In short, it's an economic proposal that does not rebuild our economy, but does everything to continue the same failed policies of the last 8 years, when Speculators gamed the system, regulators looked the other way, lobbyists bought their way into our government. It's the same failed policies of decrying greed on Wall Street one minute and then rewarding that greed the next minute with tax cuts for people who don't need them and weren't even asking for them. It's the same failed philosophy of giving more and more to those with the most and hoping the prosperity trickles down on everyone else. You know, it's funny. Yesterday I heard Senator McCain say, I'm more concerned with who gets your piece of the pie than with growing the pie. But make no mistake about it. After 8 years of Bush-McCain economics, the pie is shrinking. It's not growing. That means lower wages and declining incomes, plummeting home values, rising unemployment. So we've seen what happens with their policies. We've had an 8-year experiment. We see where it leads. This economic crisis is the final verdict on that failed leadership. It is time to try something new. And I know how difficult these times are, but I'm confident we can steer ourselves out of this crisis because I believe in this country. I believe in the American people. I believe in the leaders who are here at this table, who have helped to build businesses and helped to create the kind of economic development in their home states that are so desperately needed. Across America, I believe in families who are going through tough times, and they're on the front lines, but they're meeting challenges head on. So many of the governors here, they're helping small businesses take off and harnessing renewable energy and information technology to create 21st century jobs. They're working to reform schools and train workers to succeed in the global economy. So that's why we're here today, because a crisis like this calls for the best ideas, the brightest minds, the most innovative solutions from every corner of this country. And these leaders need and deserve a partner in the White House, a president who understands that our prosperity doesn't come from Wall Street or Washington. It comes from the hard work and ingenuity of our people. So we should be investing in your productivity, investing in the high-wage, high-skilled jobs that support families and strengthen our economies. And that's what I intend to do if I'm elected President of the United States of America. I will just a couple of very quick points. Give you some specifics about some of the things I think we need to do. I want to create a new American jobs tax credit for each new employee that companies hire here in the United States over the next 2 years. I want to stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas. I want to invest in companies that create great jobs right here in Florida. I want to help small businesses get back on their feet by eliminating capital gains and giving them emergency loans to keep their doors open and hire workers. These are a few steps we have to take right now to get our economy back on track, but we need a whole new set of priorities to create jobs and grow our economy over the long term. And that means investing in renewable energy. I've proposed $15 billion a year to create 5 million new green jobs over the next decade, jobs that pay well and can be outsourced, jobs building solar panels and wind turbines in old factories that have shut down, jobs in Michigan and Ohio building the fuel-efficient cars of the future, jobs that will help us end our dependence on foreign oil, but also help save our planet in the bargain. That's the kind of leadership that we need. I want to put 2 million more Americans to work rebuilding an infrastructure for the 21st century, not just roads and schools and bridges, but laying broadband lines so that everybody can Google anywhere they are, so that we're building a new electricity grid to get the renewable energy to the places that need it most. And if people tell you we can't invest in our future, you just remind them if we're spending $10 billion a month rebuilding Iraq, we certainly can spend some of that money right here in Florida, right here in the United States of America, rebuilding America. I want to rebuild a broken healthcare system using information technology and using preventive approaches and managing the chronically ill so that we're not wasting money in our healthcare system. Instead, we're providing coverage and affordability for everybody who needs it. And we have to make sure that we have a world-class education system, creating more scientists and engineers, investing in innovation and discovery so that our young people can compete. Now, none of this is going to be easy. It's not going to come without a cost. We're not going to be able to do it overnight. But I'm confident we're ready to meet this challenge. Over the past 20 months, I've met people from all across this country who work that extra shift. They take that bus home late because they want more for their kids. They work long hours and face long odds without complaint or regret. They're not asking government to solve all their problems. They're just asking for a chance to work hard, to provide for their families, and to contribute to this country. And I'm running for president to give them that chance, to rebuild our economy, ensure that our children and our grandchildren have the same opportunities that we had. I hope you believe in that same dream, and I hope you decide to vote for me on November 4th.